The next day, soft sunlight spread across the brick yard. After breakfast, Mrs. Durng asked Kung to fetch an old wooden sign from the storeroom. In the past, Mr. Durng used to hang it up with the words, "Beware of the dog," whenever she was home alone. Now the letters were faded, and one corner of the board had been gnawed away by termites. "What do you need this for, Mother?" Kung asked as he wiped off the dust. Sitting on the porch, she held a small knife, carefully carving each stroke with the focus of someone writing calligraphy for the village temple. "I want to write again, to say that once there were children living here, but now I live alone." Kung froze, then sighed quietly. He knew his mother wasn't boasting, nor blaming, only wanting to leave a reminder for those who once called her mother and shared meals in this house. When the letters were clear, she took an old jar of paint, dipped her trembling hand into it, yet each stroke remained steady. On the weathered brick wall, the newly hung sign stood out. Passersby stopped for a moment, some asking, "Why did you write that, ma'am?" "So the children will remember that I'm still here. The house is open, but my heart is closed." Those who heard her could only stay silent. That afternoon, she tidied the yard, washed the water jars, and neatly placed her wooden clogs beside the bed. Then she wrote a short letter, slipped it into an envelope, and placed it under her husband's altar. "I have lived my life for the children. Now I want to live what remains for myself. If you love me, come home, my door is always open. But please, don't come only for the land. I still have love to give." That evening, she brewed tea, poured an extra cup as if inviting Mr. Durng to join. Outside, the wind rustled the beetle palms. Leaves fell one by one, and the sound of her bamboo broom rasped through the yard, rough yet cleansing. News of her return to the village soon reached her children. Within days, all three called, saying they would visit on the weekend. Their words differed. One spoke of bringing the grandchildren, another of stopping by on the way, another of checking the land papers. But she knew beneath their words lingered the matter of inheritance. On Saturday morning, the quiet village road turned noisy. Chi's car blocked the gate. Lan left her motorbike at the alley's entrance, carrying a gift bag. Kung arrived last, holding only a basket of freshly picked vegetables. Smoke rose from the kitchen. Inside the three-room house, she quietly lit the fire and cooked snakehead fish soup with Malabar spinach, the dish Mr. Durng once loved. She showed no excitement nor coldness, moving calmly as if her children were always around her. The meal began with talk of the grandchildren's schooling and their jobs, but soon shifted toward the land. "This property must be worth over 100 now, right, Mother?" Chi said casually, as if commenting on the weather. "Whom do you plan to leave it to?" Lan asked bluntly, her eyes flicking toward Kung. Kung remained silent, setting down his chopsticks. She simply picked out a piece of fish, removed the bones, and placed it in his bowl before answering slowly. "I wrote a few lines and left them in my pillow. Whoever comes home early, whoever still loves me, whoever keeps the bond that one will understand. I won't leave behind land. I'll leave behind a way of living." The air grew heavy. Lan pressed her lips tight. Chi sneered. "So you mean whoever stays by your side gets the house?" "Number, if you truly wish to share, then share by caring for me, by loving me. But if you see me only as a land deed, then forget it, I'll keep it." With that, she stood up and slowly walked inside, leaving the three sitting in silence. The only sounds the buzzing of mosquitoes and the ticking of the clock. As evening fell, the rain poured down heavily. Each child left in their own way. Chi drove off without looking back. Lan trudged her bike through the rain, her bag of fruit untouched. Kung cleared the dishes and wrapped up the leftover rice for his mother. As dusk fell, she sat on the porch, holding a cup of warm ginger tea. The rain had just stopped, the damp earth releasing its pungent scent that slipped through the cracks of the doors. Kung came out and gently draped a wool sweater over her shoulders. "Are you tired, Mother?" She shook her head. Deep inside, she thought, if someone comes back because they love their mother, they will return again. But if they only come back because of the land, then this might be their last time. On the wall, the old wooden sign swayed with the wind. She knew she didn't need to argue or prove anything. What she wanted her children to understand was simple. A mother's greatest treasure is not land, but the heart she has kept whole, still waiting to be loved. The next morning, sunlight pierced through the old tiled roof and shone into the middle room. She sat by the wooden table, her hands trembling, yet her handwriting remained careful and resolute on the blank sheet of paper. It was neither a will nor a division of property. It was a final message from a mother who had endured much, who had loved enough and been patient enough. To my children, Lan, Chi, and Kung, I am not writing this to divide money or land. I am writing to share my heart. I did not give birth to you so that, at the end of my life, I must count every inch of soil. I hope you love one another, support one another when I am gone. This house is where your father and I lived, where you grew up. It is not just bricks and tiles, it is warmth, it is memory. If you can keep your bond, then keep the house. If not, let the villagers tear it down. Plant flowers, make a place to drink tea and read, so that future generations will remember that once there lived a mother here who loved her children until her last breath. She folded the letter, slipped it into an envelope, and placed it inside a wooden box with her savings book. After putting it away, she lay down on her pillow, hiding the box under the floorboard. That evening, Lane called, her voice tinged with regret. Yesterday I spoke out of turn. I'm sorry, Mother. Tomorrow I'll come back to tidy the garden and plant some more areca palms. The old woman only smiled without answering. That night, a car stopped at the gate. The driver carried in a bag of oranges and an envelope. From Brother Chi. He asked me to tell you to repair the roof tiles and not to hold the past in your heart anymore. As for Kung, he still silently peeled gourds, washed dishes, and adjusted each brick along the wet porch. He said nothing, but his actions were enough. At dusk, she sat peeling dry areca leaves, watching the sun set behind the bamboo groves. The wind was cold, yet her heart felt warm. She knew what she needed to leave behind was already written. It required no legal seal, only for her 3 children to one day open, read, and understand. She told herself, a mother does not need lavish meals. She only needs her children not to drift apart. All her life, she had kept them close, hoping they would do the same for each other after she was gone. At dawn, the news spread through the small village. She had passed away in her sleep, peacefully, without pain, her eyes closed, her lips still curved in a faint smile. Kung was the first to arrive. He knelt by the wooden bed where his mother used to rest at noon. He didn't cry out, only whispered, "Mother," and gently closed her eyes. Later, Lan came, carrying a bag of fruit, her hands trembling as she set it down on the table. Mother hasn't even had time to eat the star apples I bought. Her voice broke. By late afternoon, Chi returned, bringing a white funeral wreath, his eyes red. He bowed before the altar, brushing his fingers lightly across his mother's portrait. The funeral was simple, without drums or fanfare, attended only by neighbors who lit incense and spoke of a woman who had lived her whole life for her husband and children, never once complaining. After the burial, the 3 siblings sat together in the middle room. Kung placed the wooden box on the table. Inside lay the savings book, the letter, and the written note. His voice grew heavy. Mother didn't leave this for fairness, but so that we would still love one another. If we can keep that bond, then this house will remain a place to breathe our parents' spirit, a place to return to on holidays. If not, then sell it and divide the money 3 ways. But each of us must give a small part to charity, as Mother used to do quietly. He pushed the savings book toward the center of the table. She left it for me, but I'll keep it as her memory, not for gain. Lan held her younger brother's hand, eyes brimming with tears. Let's keep the house, make it a place to gather, a family altar. We mustn't lose one another. Chi sat in silence for a long time, then nodded. Mother was right, land means nothing if we lose our bond. The Thray,